It's on. It just did. It went out.
Oh, no, it's on. It was on. GTT, G is off.
G off.
G is off. Good.
G on.
You guys look beautiful.
Check it out, yo.
Do you have, oh, we have one. Oh, Dan Elam is on.
Are we live?
We live.
Are we?
We are live. We have Dan.
Who?
Dan Elam.
I don't even know who's on here. I feel naked.
Here, do you want my phone?
I feel naked. Weatherman, it's 1 o'clock Wednesday, Real Estate 101 with me, hashtag GTT, and the host of the show.
That'd be this guy.
AKA
the Weatherman.
Weatherman, how are you doing today,
I'm
friend?
good, man. I'm trying to get us logged.
Can you log us in?
Hey.
Are we logged?
Getting close. I got to like and share.
You gotta like and
Hey,
share. Everybody,
comment.
before we get started, I need you to like. Ooh, my phone, it looked like it's moving. I need you to please like,
Please share.
please comment, please share this stream, because somebody you know, they may need to know this before they go out and buy a home or close on a home. Today, what we're talking about is a personal experience I'm dealing with right now. A good buddy of mine, he bought a home, and he closed before some things were taken care of, and now it's come back to get us. Who's it ultimately coming back to get? It's coming back to get yours truly. So the idea of this show originated from my buddy. So Weatherman, before we get started, who can we not do this show without?
That would be me, AKA the Weatherman. Oh, that's not what you...
Yeah, did you share the stream?
No, I'm trying to.
Okay.
Here.
Hey, we're chopping today. Come on, let's go.
We're trying to get on. So we got a, golly, man, when we long, we'll have like 15
We got
sponsors.
a lot of sponsors coming, don't
So we
we?
want to start off with one of our new guys, Bug Solutions. Thank you so much for continuing to support us. Our big kahuna friend,
big
the one that's out
kahuna.
there, guys. Check him out on Instagram, Facebook. Man, he's out there everywhere. He got the flat bill hat, which I approve of. I like the big kahuna flat bill. I need one big kahuna. And we want to go with our, we like to call him the legends, been with us from day one. Scott Abernathy, who I think you had lunch with today.
I had lunch with my favorite little
Rent from Scott, and he's got a new name coming up. We're working on that. Also, we want to go with who my wife thinks a lot of, Mr. Roy Frazier.
Can't do without you, Roy Frazier.
She got a.
We won't do without you, Roy Frazier.
And then we got I like to call
What's
her.
her name today?
She's a meerkat.
She's a meerkat.
Meerkat. Iberia Mortgage with Belinda Erringer. So, guys, thank you so much, and we never can forget the guy who causes all this stuff around here. Thank you, John Jones. We appreciate you more than you know it. And now, Brian Bell. Brian, appreciate you helping us out.
Man, you're helping us out a lot today. We're on YouTube. We're streaming live on YouTube. I don't know if we can tell if anybody gets on there, Kathleen.
And we're on Instagram.
And we're on Instagram. So think about this. We got our Facebook Live going. We got our Instagram Live going. And we're also screaming live on YouTube. And we got a live studio audience.
And if you go back in the back of Walmart, we're on every one of those TVs right now. Everybody run to Walmart, they can see us live.
Well, everybody, hey, I don't have anything. I don't know who's watching. So if you're making a comment today, Weatherman, thank you so much. Make sure we talking. Katrina just joined. Roy Frazier, our man, my mama, my girlfriend, Charlie, Brian, Richard Neese. Everybody, thank you for tuning in. I know we're a little off today because we got our new lighting going on. We also have tried this YouTube. Richard Neese, you need to start doing the YouTube live. But today, let me tell you what we're talking about.
That light does something to your eyes. I don't know if you're mesmerizing that. The folks are going to be mesmerized today.
I think it's the shirt. I need
Maybe.
to go up to Woods
Maybe.
Bike and get my hair cut. Can you hook me up?
Hey, speaking of that, got mine chopped this week. Want to thank my good buddy Nate, my ball playing buddy. Thank you, Nate. Y'all always make me look pretty.
All right, hey, let's get started, kids. Every Wednesday, 1 o'clock, we bring you Real Estate 101 because we want to be the #1 digital source for your real estate content in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. I've got a dream. Tyrone, I want 130,000 people in this town to know me. I want 130,000 people to know you too, man.
We're only about
I don't want
1,200
them to like you, though. I want them to like me, not you.
I can't say
I'm
that.
just kidding. I'm just kidding. So here's what we're talking about today. Have you ever bought a home, whether it's brand new, It could be Brandon. Who's this?
I just bought it for you. You're welcome.
I appreciate that. Have you ever bought a home, whether it's brand new or from a builder?
Yeah.
Well, we call, whenever you're about to close, we got these little punch lists. Correct?
The old dreaded punch list.
Do you know what a punch list? Tell the people what a punch list is.
A punch list is the last attack to hit you in the gut before they buy the home.
It gets very emotional. So let's say if you're buying an existing home, you're going to have a home inspection done, hopefully within 10 to 15 days of the binding agreement date, once you're actually under contract. So whenever you do that, they go out there, the home inspector is going to tell you what's wrong with the house. Then there's going to be a list of repairs. Well, that list needs to be done before you close on the house if you all agree to do it.
Right.
In a new construction, it's going to be a walkthrough where you go through and you're picking all these things that you want done before you close on the home. And I'm here to tell you why you don't need to close if there's outstanding items not done on them lists.
What color is that tape?
Green.
Blue.
Oh,
For a new walkthrough. It's the blue tape.
For a new walkthrough. So I'm going to tell you something that happens. And I think Lisa told me the other night on the news. I don't know which source it was. But I think there's like 500 current lawsuits with builders right now. 500.
I can see that.
In Middle Tennessee. Where the people, here's how it happens. In the moment, nobody has ill intentions.
No.
They don't think, hey, I'm going to screw this person over. They just commit to doing something. And man, we all get busy. The current of the urgent of our life, it takes our focus away. We got to go out and do things because we still got to keep making money. Next thing you know, a few months have gone by. And then the person that lives in that home, they get irritated.
And there's always two views to every scenario. So the builder or seller has a view of what they're doing, and the buyer or purchaser has a view of how they're doing it. Then you have two real estate agents involved. They have their view. So you have 4 views, not count everybody's input. So next thing you know, you got 12 or 15 views over one thing. Is that close?
Yeah, and that's exactly right. So I'm going to tell you, here's what happens. And I'm going to present both sides. Because Weatherman, he brought up a situation when I was talking yesterday about this. Because sometimes you don't have a choice. You got to go ahead and close.
Exactly right.
I appreciate the like, the love, the shares. Brittany Renee, thank you. My mama's on here. Dan Elam, thank you, buddy. Nathan Sanders, we are still celebrating. Everybody, we appreciate you getting on here. Please, if you share the stream, we will go back later and we're going to pick one winner. My goal, one day we're going to get 50 shares. Only share it one time. If you share it 47 times like other people have done before, you only get credit for one share. So please share it one time. Please. I want 50 shares, and people need to understand this. So number one reason why I feel like you need to go ahead and make sure everything is done is after closing, you've lost all your leverage.
Leverage.
Your leverage is gone once you close on that house. The only way you can get it back, you feel like, is to go through the court system, which you don't want to do that. So let's give an example, Weatherman. You're buying a house from me. I'm a silver-tongued devil salesman, and I said, come on, go ahead and close. We'll have a gentleman's agreement.
Yeah.
Hey, I got my fingers behind my back saying, hey, I'll get all this stuff taken care of. And this stuff could only be, it could be $1,000. It ain't that much.
Right.
So in my mind, time goes by. I forget about it. I'm doing other things. I'm like, damn, I hope Weatherman forgot about this. Because now I'm embarrassed to call him up. Yep. I feel like I've already lied to him. I'm embarrassed. I'm humiliated. And if I don't hear from him, I'm going to act like, hey, I guess maybe he went ahead and fixed it. Maybe it wasn't that bad. I'm not saying that's what I would do, but I'm just giving you these scenarios. So I don't want you to think I'm a dishonest person. So what are you thinking during this time, Weatherman?
Why did he call me? Is he not going to fix this? Is he not going to do what he said he's going to do? He said he'd get right to it. And so my scenario is, I don't care what else you got going on. I want my issue fixed. I could care less if you got 5 houses, 50 houses, 100 houses. I want my toilet lid screwed on tighter.
That's right. Now, what are you going around telling people about me in the meantime?
He don't come back. He don't do what he said. He's a crappy builder. Don't use him. Yada yada.
You don't want to deal with Good Time Tommy. He's out somewhere drunk or doing something like that. So you don't want to use that guy. So whenever you got Stephen Weathers out there, he's told 2 or 3 people. The next thing you know, there's like 20 people that don't want to use me just because I did not fulfill what I told him I would do.
Exactly correct.
So number 2, once you get past this, it's becoming your baby. Now this is your baby.
Yep.
And you're gonna
Get madder.
You're gonna get madder and madder. The experience, and it could be something so small where you could have. If I would have just done this in the meantime, we wouldn't be in this situation. Well, we got all kind of. I wish people could see our big setup. Keep going with me.
Now let's ask this. So now this is the scenario I brought up. Like you said, nobody has ill intentions on something's not going to get fixed, this and that. With the way our economy's going and with the boom of things, and most people don't have a choice. And somebody made a remark on here, which is great, John Giovanni, that Regent Homes won't close on the house until they do the final walkthrough and the punch list is signed. Well, that's good, but some people don't have the liberation of nowhere to go. And builders really, at the end of the day, I don't sound ugly. They don't really care that you don't have anywhere to go. A lot of times they appease things by saying, hey, go ahead and move in the house, we'll fix it, sign an addendum. And so it's a kind of a mixed communication on both sides, and that's usually how it happens. There's not a builder one out there that wants you to move in the house and still have a list of things to be done. And so some people don't have a choice. Like if you got a house to sell, you don't have anywhere to go, what are you going to do?
I think it's in everybody's best interest, including the buyer and the seller, if the buyer temporarily goes somewhere and they just make do.
I think that's what we should do, but it don't happen that way.
Well, I think you need to do that because on new construction, once you move in a house, man, it is hard to get those subs because the sub, when they come over there, they're going to ring the doorbell. And by the time their fingers off the doorbell, they're back to the car or back to the truck.
To another job.
Because they don't want to have to sit and wait. So think about, there's a lot of things that are outside of a builder's control.
Absolutely.
It's going to be your schedule with the sub schedule. So you're much better off. I like what John's saying about their builder or about his builder. Hey, before you move in this house, you got to sign off on all this stuff. Now, you're right. If we've been planning on this closing date for 3 months and I've got everything lined up, I am only going to think about myself.
Well, let's look at this scenario. All right, so now you sold your house, $1.6 million. Congratulations. You're buying one of so-and-so's properties. Everything in the house is pretty decent, but I couldn't get you a CO because of the weather and the yard and the on forth and on forth. So we got what this wonderful thing is called a temporary C of O. So now you don't have anywhere to go. We pretty much walked through the house. Everything looks good. And remember, every walkthrough is not going to be perfect.
Right.
There's only one perfect thing. We're not getting into that in this show. But so every walkthrough, we can't fix everything that you see. So when you move in, there may be something that you don't like. So anyway, with that being said, there's always going to be certain situations that you got to try to deal with. And so you hope that you can cover yourself with either an addendum, either put money in escrow.
We're going to talk about that in just a moment. Don't be stealing my notes.
See, I already know this.
Come prepared.
I'll be open to putting escrow money back.
Well, we're going to talk about that. We're going to talk about that. So let's talk about this.
That's still your thunder.
Well, you did say something that we didn't think about. And a lot of times builders, unfortunately, are not salespeople.
No, they're not.
They are more of an entrepreneur or they have a skill set to build a house. They don't understand the emotions that people are going through, so they don't want to articulate stuff like you were talking about. What if the weather was holding us back?
Just
what
like
if all these things? So a lot of times what builders will say is, it ain't ready.
Yep.
I can't get it done.
But I got a contract that says it'll be built by this date.
So what the buyers really want is to understand why this is taking so long. Why not? Well, they get frustrated because they're not really salespeople. Would you agree?
Absolutely.
I don't mean to sound. Some of them are salespeople, but a lot of them aren't, and they don't want to articulate a lot of the knowledge that they know and pass it along to the consumer because they don't want to do all that stuff.
Right.
So if the agents could articulate what's going on, okay, so we needed to see, like whatever house is ready. Think about how much, or when the house is completed, think about how much is out of a builder's control. Getting somebody to come out there to do, like in Murfreesboro, Tennessee, I can tell you the electrical code, what's that called?
The final
final electrical inspection. I mean, sometimes I think it could take forever for them to get out there to that. So let's just think if they don't get out there on a Wednesday, then they may not come out there till Monday. Think about,
then you got to get the CO guy to come out there.
So much is out of the builder's hands. But the builder gets defensive.
Because it ain't his fault.
They're doing all they can do, and then we're calling them up and saying, hey, why ain't this ready? Well, then they just usually say something to their agent that's not very warm and fuzzy, so then the agent's got to call the other agent. A lot of times the listing agent doesn't even know how to articulate all this mess to the other agent. So by the time it gets to the buyer, we just know we're not closing. We don't know why.
And it's a mess.
It is a mess. So number 3 is if you go ahead and you close on this before everything is completed, it's going to be a huge inconvenience and it's going to be way more stressful once you get into the home until it's completed. And you're not going to be happy.
Because think about this. Let's say we got to get somebody to touch up paint in a bedroom. So not only does the builder have to line up their painter, the drywall guy, all those. The homeowner also has to line up their schedule to when they can be there, keep the house unlocked, and clean the mess up. So you have all these different things trying to go on to fix this one little piece of paint that big. And so now you got 3 or 4 people involved that has to orchestrate their schedule, and that's usually what that makes it so hard.
Uh-oh, Till, I see you're on here, worst decision. I understand. It's so hard, though, when people are so emotional at this time. Their emotion trumps logic. And I'm not saying you're dumb. I'm just saying if anybody is in that situation, it's hard to see past all that stuff.
Right.
We want to go ahead and get in our own. Weatherman, you were saying something. I grew up in the city. I grew up not being a handy person, although through college I was a residential electrician.
He was good.
And I was good back in my day. But here's one thing I did not understand is sometimes there's something that looks so simple, so easy, has to go through so many different complicated processes.
Exactly right.
That you just wouldn't know, like a hole in the wall, how they've got to come in here and sand it down, patch it up.
Clean it up.
How long does that take? Because it can't be done in one day.
You can't paint mud.
So so when I see these holes, I'm like, damn, can't you do that in 10 minutes? I sound stupid to these superintendents. Hey, we got some questions. Took a month to get closet rods. It's our agent's responsibility to educate buyer at the consultation. Heidi, you're right. You're right. But a lot of times things move so fast that does not happen. But in a perfect world, if you could sit someone down and tell them this is how you should do this, you're exactly right.
Here's the biggest thing, and believe me, everybody's in real estate that deals with builders has been on the bad end of this scenario. Even if you've been in real estate a year and sold 5 houses, probably you've been on a bad scenario, whether it's a home inspection, whether it's a repair to a house. What we do got to realize is we all have what we should do, but when you get in that heat of the moment and you get down to closing day and you get down to people's stuff's in a U-Haul and they have nowhere to go and their house is sold and this beautiful brand new house or this house they're already seeing their future in is ready, but we're missing this. It's hard for anybody to say, I'm going to wait, and no offense to whoever did the closet rod, I'm going to wait on closet rod till I move in this house. Now, those closet rods to me, because I'm buying a house, I have nowhere to hang my clothes. But a $6 closet rod to a builder that would have just soon waited is not priority over another CO and another CO that's waiting on 2 more families. And I'm not trying to be rude, and I hope I don't, if I sound that way, discipline me. But that's kind of
do it after the show.
overall spectrum of how little things, like Tommy said, they mean something to us, but on the other side, they cause a big effect.
Okay, John he said this, and this is hard to say, but I tell my clients this. He says, best way to get warranty items done is by being nice. I mean, it is so hard for a buyer who feels like they're in control to be nice when they feel like, dude, this is my house, you're doing this for me, this is your job. But he's exactly right. How can an agent tell their client, look, I know you're stressed out, I know you're pissed off, I know you deserve better, but you need to be nice. You got to play this game because content cows give more milk. There's a study done that happy cows gave more milk. Well, these builders are going to give you more if they feel appreciated.
But you know what they say?
What?
Well, who do you work for?
That's right.
You work for that happy cow, that sad cow. You work for the
Well,
builder,
what I'm trying to help them do, I'm trying to articulate to them, this is how you can get what you want.
I agree.
A lot of agents get emotional with their client. They feel like, you know what, you are right. You should get this. Let me call up that other agent, and I'm going to be demanding. I'm going to fight for you. I'm going to be a bully. And I'm not going to get your shit done for 3 months now because I'm being a jackass. I'm just kidding. It's more like a month and a half, but it does not help you. John, that's a great point. Right. Just had this happen. Carrie Latham, punch list, repair, not done at final walkthrough. We put it in writing with a deadline of 2 weeks for it to be done. Pass. I think if the builder knows the agent is still involved on top of it, it will happen. Carrie, that's Carrie Latham. She's dealing with something very similar. But what if some of these things, like in a yard, sometimes you can't do anything about it. It's hard to put deadlines because of rain or something that could happen. But you know, the builders are always at the mercy of the people that are working for them.
Right.
And if it's something so small, what if it's hard to get them to come out there to do something so small? Which brings us to what we were talking about and what Carrie's talking about, the old escrow.
So what is escrow?
Okay, let's say if I'm building your house and I've got some things that ain't done and I'm ready to close, I'm going to get all my money and assure you that you're closed and it's over. And you're like, well, I don't want to close until all this stuff is done and I'm a nice guy. And y'all, man, I'll take care of that. Here's what we can do. Yeah. We can we can just sign something. I'll get it done. The builder don't want to risk anything, so he ain't going to volunteer money. You're going to talk to somebody and you're going to say, man, my uncle said if I do this, I need to get money.
They put a bunch of money in escrow.
He said 50,000, 100,000 in escrow. They're going to be unreasonable is what I'm saying. So then it becomes a whole new negotiation. The builder is going to want the least amount of money possible. The buyer is going to want the most security. Hey, I want all every dime that you got in escrow. Builders don't want to do that because now you've got to sign off on it and I've got to sign off on it to get my money. What if you're not happy about something else? What if another problem popped up the day you closed? So, I mean, there's so many open things that could happen that they can prevent you from signing off. Yep. Richard, builders are salespeople. They're trying to convince the consumer to purchase their house versus someone else. Therefore, they need to do a punch list of their own, would save a lot of these delays and close faster. Just saying.
Most of the time, builders do have somebody that goes through and kind of check everything. And some builders do, some builders don't. They have a superintendent or somebody, and they'll do their own walkthrough to say, hey, I don't like this, I don't like this, I don't like this. I think our biggest thing is there's a reason that a lot of builders now just build a spec house, build it all the way through, put it on the market, and sell that house. And then somebody comes along and buys it. The old rule of thumb is builders didn't like to do that because they're paying all these interest payments. When they could sell it up front, they know it's sold, they do another one. But a lot of times, because of emotions, because of time frames, everybody's behind in our city. I mean, you try to call an electrician, everybody's behind, so there's a delay.
All right, let's throw this scenario, because I agree with what what Richard's saying here. They are salespeople, but they're not a direct salesperson.
Right.
They're usually not selling directly to the customer. They've got an agent, so they've got a product that they're selling to the market.
Yep.
They do have things in place to help with a punch list. So let's talk about the different types of builders. The bigger builders have much better systems. They also have a lot more leverage with their subs. So let's take a builder that builds 5 to 8 homes a year, who's probably going to take more time, put more into the house, and probably going to do you a better job.
Yeah.
But let's just say they need something from a sub, but that sub's got so much going on. How much leverage does that little builder have to get that little guy back out there to come out here and do one little thing?
Very little. A lot of people don't understand that.
They don't understand that.
You know what other leverage that big builder has?
Tell me.
If you don't like it,
You'll lose these 150, 200, 300 other houses.
don't buy it.
Oh,
No,
well,
I'm
yeah.
talking about
Oh,
as
yeah.
far as it. So somebody buys a house, and let's just use example. I have a contract with you. You're big time GTT Homes, and you got 100 houses a year. I give you $10,000 as earnest money. You build my house. It's supposed to close this day. I'm telling you, hey, I want it to close.
Okay.
Well, here's your money back. You don't have to buy the house if you don't want it. And so when there's leverage, it goes that way compared to, it's not a very fun thing to talk about, but when you're bigger and you have bigger operations, even the big guys, superintendents are busy.
Yep.
They can't just drop everything to go to one closing. They may have 20 houses they're trying to get closed out that month.
So here's something Weatherman was touching on that a lot of people don't understand, but in these builder contracts, they're very slanted to where a builder can get rid of you.
Yeah.
They can call it whatever, but they can get rid of you and give you your money back.
But they don't want to.
They don't want to, but they don't want an unsatisfied customer causing them more problems. They would really rather sell. They want to make everybody happy,
Yeah.
but sometimes it's very hard to make people happy. It could have been from the beginning. Maybe they didn't like this or didn't like that. A lot of times, Ben Blake said this one time we were at lunch, and I thought this was so profound. He said on a custom home, it takes a lot of chemistry.
Ooh.
A lot of chemistry's got to last to make this a good transaction.
And it's hard because there's different personalities. It's a very, very tough. And at the end of the day, I think everybody wants to get the ball down the field. We want to work together. Any builder will tell you about 25-30% is just a home run from day one all the way till that 1 year after you close, or 2 years depending on your warranty. It's just a breeze and a piece of cake. The rest of them is like a roller coaster. If not, everybody would be building houses and everybody would be in this market. The best thing you do, and I've heard several people say it, and as real estate agents, I have to do better, we have to do better to keep things documented, to keep the communication open, and then the only way you're really truly protected is do not close on the house if you're not happy, which means it's going to be an inconvenience.
That's right.
If the builder needs that money, he will make it happen, and you have the leverage. Don't close on the house.
You lose all your loans. So let's go back through this one more time so you understand what I'm saying. I'm going to tell you, do not close on the house. Once you close on the house, you've lost all your leverage. Now you're going to be mad because they're not responding in a timely manner, but you made the decision to be more convenient and live in the house as opposed to your mom's, your dad's, your friends, wherever. You made that decision. I don't know if agents are going to tell you that, but I'm going to tell them that. Look, the only way I can guarantee you to get this stuff done, the only way I can guarantee it, is don't close on the house until it's completed.
Yeah.
Number two, it's going to be your baby. You're going to call your agent. You're going to be mad. You're going to blame your agent. Agents can't really do much about it.
No.
They're kind of brokering a deal where they cannot force somebody to come over here and do it. Number three, you're going to be very stressed out. You're going to be in a very, very, very inconvenient state where you're just not going to be happy. You're going to be mad. And you brought this burden on yourself because you made the decision to close, unless your agent's saying, now, hey, I have done this. I had told somebody to go ahead and close because I know the guy who'll get all this taken care of, and it didn't. That's where this idea came from.
Yeah.
So I'm going to have to make this right. Even though I feel like the seller should have to do it, I'm going to have to make it right. This brings us to the escrow.
Well, let me, before we get to the escrow, there's this, and I've been in real estate about 11 years, and I've worked for builders most of my whole deal, and I've always heard this come up. Well, let us move our stuff in the garage. We won't close on the house, but we don't have anywhere to put our stuff. At the end of the day, once you put your stuff in that garage, you take possession of that garage, because that's you can't evict your stuff. And so I'm under the impression with you, the builders we work with, from my understanding now, even the builder I work with, we will not close on the house until it's signed off. If it takes us a month to resolve, we're not going to close.
Hey, Brent Long, thank you for joining us.
Only for the reason of we're in a busy, it ain't the fact that we don't want to do it, it's the fact of keeping everybody at some kind of peace. But if we don't do that, we can't guarantee when the things will get finished because of everybody else's time frame.
And here's what makes this so complicated. The garage, for instance, like he's talking about. Builders, when they do that, they feel like, hey, we're taking on a lot of unnecessary risk.
Yeah, what if it's on fire?
What if anything happens? We're liable for this. Then they feel like when they do it, the buyer doesn't appreciate what they're doing. There's a lot of we all get defensive in this situation. So a lot of times I don't even think the buyer understands how much the builder would be helping them out to do that. But then you take the buyer, hey, I'm paying you all this money. Without me, you don't get to make this money. So it really is a balancing act. It really is two-sided. But what we should be really, really striving for is a win-win, not a win-loss.
Right.
Too many people get caught up in win-win. Or, I'm sorry, win-loss.
Man, you know what's tough. And man, this subject is a deep, hard subject that nobody really wants to talk about and push it to the curb. So I hope nobody takes offense to this, buyers, agents.
Well, it's controversial.
Is what happens is, whether you buy a new house from a builder or an existing house from anybody else, you make it, unless you own the loan and you're purchasing it cash, or it's your loan, you're building the house, until you sign on the dotted line, that is not your house. I don't care if you have $100,000 in down payment, if you have $50,000, because it is still in the builder's name and it's their responsibility. So unless that loan is in your name and you're doing a cost plus, you have no leverage as far as that goes. So what happens with us is, and I've had it when I'm selling an existing home, my buyer buys an existing home, and all of a sudden they go by and something is not there. They freak out and say, they took this from my house. At that particular time, it's not your house. And so it's best just to say, it's my house. When we agree on everything in the contract's been met, signed, sealed, delivered, ball game over. We have to do that, I think, as agents and as builders to do that.
I've had people, when they've signed off on our new construction houses, one time we had an open house and an agent was mad because
you were showing the house?
We were showing their house.
Yeah.
And hey, he called me unprofessional. He was furious because we had an open house going in a house that his people had a contract on.
Yeah. And I take the side of the buyer because you are personally invested in that purchase. So you automatically think, hey, that's mine. I bought it, I picked it out, I picked those colors out. It's mine. Well, it's not. It's yours.
It's very hard to explain how emotional this process is.
Not fun.
They're putting all the money, it's their life. It's so much about what they've got going on there. And it's very hard for outsiders to feel how emotional it is for that buyer. So
would you agree that if you looked at a spectrum, and I think so this is a home buyer, this is a builder or a home seller, there's a huge difference in that gap with the way they think. And so what I mean by that is, if the way that the buyer thinks on this new construction loan is totally different than the way the builder thinks. And us as agents, we try to mend that gap. And at the end of the day, they're probably not going to budge on their thinking. It's our job as a professional to try to say, hey, this is not going to be fun. It's going to be a roller coaster. And I'm not talking about new construction. I'm talking about home inspections. This is not gonna. It's fun when you find the house and you write a contract. Then the real world sinks in, and this is what we deal with.
I think you should always try to present a win-win.
I agree.
You should always explain. The more you can explain to your client about how the opposition feels, what you're doing is you're giving them more knowledge to help them understand. But a lot of agents, they don't do that. They're just only isolated on how their customer feels.
Yeah.
It's hard to sit there, wake up, Kathleen, are you going to bed?
Please like,
Please
share.
Please like, please share, please comment. We don't have what's the comments. Hey, does anybody want to? Does anybody know what? Are y'all tired of Allie on Main?
James Peeler thinks the weatherman looks like Alec Baldwin. It's our new lighting.
Yeah, and guys, we hate, sometimes these things kind of get repaired, but this is the kind of
There's
stuff
the lights.
we deal in the real world, and this happens to most real estate agents a lot. And hey, we can all be better. Me myself, there's a lot of things I can improve on. Builders, buyers, everybody. But our whole point of the show is kind of just say, hey, this is what builders, agents, sellers, buyers. This is a pretty common occurrence.
That's right. That's right, though. So hey, wrapping this up, unless we have some more comments, I gave you 3 reasons why I'm telling you do not close on a home with unresolved repairs out there. Okay? If you do close before, if you're a buyer, here's what I'm gonna tell a buyer: get escrow money. And the typical person is going to ask for like 2 times what needs to be done.
Yeah.
If I'm a buyer agent, I'm going to say, let's get this in writing and let's put money in escrow. If I'm a seller's agent, I'm going to tell them, do not put any money in escrow. See, we're opposing each other. We're both, if you're on one side or the other, you're both risking something for your client. So,
hey, yo, conflict Stephen over here, guys. Who signs off on the escrow check?
I think it's usually with like a title company or something.
Who has the right to release it to who? Or
I
who keeps it?
think they both have to. I mean, it's not easy to it's hard to resolve that, because like I was telling Stephen, what if we specifically outline what repairs were going to be done over the next 2 weeks? Well, what if Stephen decides I'm not going to come up there and sign it? Something else has come up I didn't know about.
Yeah.
So it's just hard because I can't get my money until Stephen signs off on it. So guys, hey, we appreciate you tuning in every Wednesday. Real Estate 101 at 1 o'clock every Thursday night. My little baby, straight from the gut. If there's somebody out there and you've been struggling, you want to get better, you don't know how, I'm going to teach you how. I'm going to teach you how to get from where I was to where I'm at today. My story is not where I'm at today. My story is more about how much of a mediocre person I was for so long. That's Thursday night at 8 o'clock. Weatherman, we appreciate you. Can't do without you. You look so good in them lights.
Man, you know what? Hey, we had a great birthday. Brittany did an awesome job, and everybody.
Hey, let me thank everybody that participated. I had a birthday, 44 years old. My girlfriend threw me a surprise birthday party. It was a great time. So. Everybody, Weatherman, I think you spent the night with me. I appreciate it.
I believe I did.
Well, you woke up in my bedroom floor.
That was me.
That was you. Guys, thank you for watching. Please like, please share. And if somehow this has ended up on your page and you're watching, my name's Tommy Davidson, #GoodTimeTommy. This is Stephen Weathers, a.k.a. the Weatherman. We want to be who you turn to for digital real estate content, friends. Tell everybody about us. Have a great day.